What's up, everybody? This is Ominous for Responsible Gaming, doing an episode of Ominous Designs. It's been so long. So, as you might know, there was a hiatus a couple months ago, an episode a couple weeks ago when I was just about to leave San Francisco, and here is an episode now from sunny, maybe Seattle. There's been fires around here, and all I can see is smoke in the city. It's pretty crazy, but there's an orange ball of fire in the sky. I think it's the sun. So yeah, we're here on the gatherer mode, but boom, we're gonna have a quick look at the cards from last week. Carnivorous vines. I'm not going to comment on the design because that's what we did last week, but I can show you now how beautiful they are. I really like this illustration, actually. So pretty cool card. Check out last week if you want to see the creation of it. Second card we made is now the One-Eyed Rampager. Which is interesting is that almost every Cyclops that exists in Magic is called Cyclops something. It's pretty disappointing. I haven't really reinvented the wheel with one-eyed whatever, but better than say like very angry Cyclops, for example. I think that's always an improvement. So this week I thought of something pretty funky. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just take a creature as a base, and what I want to do. Always have a hard time trying to like entertain some kind of suspense and not tell you everything right from the get-go. I want to do a new ability. I want to create a new type of card, and I think I'm just going to be telling you right off the bat because I'm going to need to think a bunch about how this is going to work. So what I want to do, I can show you this. For example, I can say whenever what's his face deals damage to a player, I don't know how we're gonna. This is a very new type of card. Trigger a skill you own in exile, maybe. Yep. So what I want is to have a new type of card that's Skillz, and let's put Menace. I think we're gonna do a rare, like a rare that just basically triggers your skill. Pretty good. So that could be a 3/2 haste Menace. Why not? It's pretty bonkers actually as it is, but why not? So the idea is I want cards to be skills that you can just trigger, and I want skills to be cards that are draftable. Let's say like I don't know if there is any like definitely a god damn it, I'm gonna get it. Conspiracy, like a conspiracy. So you can draft skills, but they're not going to be part of your deck. You're going to have them handy at the beginning of the game, and they're just going to be here, and you're going to be able to use them. So they take draft slots, like you need to draft them instead of drafting regular cards for your deck, but they don't take deck slots. So very quickly, we're gonna have a quick look at Conspiracy. I think I just remembered that Conspiracy is actually placed in the Commander Zone. There's no Conspiracy. That's just not correct. God damn it, there's a card that's called Conspiracy. Rule text, Conspiracy. I think I remember there's some things that are hard to search in Gatherer. Ah, come on. Okay, I'm just gonna check the web. MTG Conspiracy. Wait. No, they are conspiracies. I'm sorry about the terrible display. Start a game with conspiracy face up in the comment zone. Okay, so why don't we say that no, wrong screen. Why don't we say that the conspiracy is gonna be the skill is gonna be in the comment zone then, huh? Why not? You own in your trigger skill from your comment zone. It should be you own. Well, I don't really know actually. Yeah, I don't know. From your comment zone, that's natural speech, so why not? Now, the big issue is color by. Are we gonna have skills? Oh man, conspiracy would be a great example for this. Are we gonna have skills that, like, imagine there's a skill that says draw a card. Is this red card now drawing you cards? I don't know. Second point, is there a limit to the skills you can have? Can you have a ton of skills in your deck? And therefore this card can just hit a player and do anything, like just, you know, like tons of different fun stuff. Other point, is there going to be a rare skills? If there is such thing as a rare skill, now the problem becomes it's very hard to balance your skill triggers. You guys, you know, like when this guy hits, he can either, or it can be combined with another rare, you know. It can be like, well, I had a skill that's a rare in my command zone, now I have a rare, which means it's very good at triggering the skill potentially. All of a sudden I have a double rare because I'm gonna have easy trigger, powerful effect. Is that okay? You know, if there is a rare skill in blue, or in blue, that says bounce a permanent, draw a card, and then you have a hasty creature with menace that triggers the skill easily, what kind of havoc is that gonna lead to? So I am quite inclined to push and err on the side of pushing the envelope. The conspiracies, why is that I cannot search for conspiracies? It's very disappointing. Let me just do one thing. I'm going to, so the conspiracies go backup plan, so backup. Okay, so there are conspiracies in Gatherer, but apparently I cannot search them. Let's try again. Type conspiracy. Do you have to do include special items? There you go, include special items. Okay. Alright, so we have them. So, oh, smart. Okay. So these guys, what they do in conspiracies is they have minimum deck size is reduced by 5. Oh, sure, whatever. Let's try and see something that's more effective. Draw an additional hand, that's fine. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell with the chosen name, you may copy it. So see, all of a sudden I have copy instant and sorceries in green if I want. You know, I can name Giant Growth and Wreck Your Face. You know, what else? Create a soldier. At the beginning of your each phase of keep, that player creates a 1/1 token, can block. At the beginning of the year, first to keep. What? Oh, what? Weird. You have a 1/1 with a 1/2 with defender, and then every turn, everybody gets a 1/1 red goblin that cannot block. That's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. But yeah, I mean, you definitely have things that are way off color. So I'll be honest, I prefer being able to deal with this. I think, or I prefer having the liberty to do all sorts of crazy effects. It's possible that it's only justifiable in a casual set, such as Conspiracy over here. But the thing that I haven't mentioned that I've seen right off the bat is they also do colored Conspiracy like this one. And to have your effect, you get to pay a green and then get the effect. And that kind of solves the problem of, well, this one is actually a colored Conspiracy, because if you cannot pay the green, you cannot have the effect. And let's check, it doesn't do anything if you don't have the color. So it's really purely a color Conspiracy. It's just, since you don't cast them, you need to pay for the trigger. And that's smart, that's very smart. Amazing. So, like I said, we're gonna try, what's a blue Conspiracy for giggle? Whenever a creature you control with the name is coming to play, you may pay blue if you do draw a card. Yeah. Yeah. I would like it to. Oh, I can do. You may pay several different colors. Oh, that would be sweet. Oh yeah, that would be really cool. Because, for example, I was gonna say, I understand that the skill needs to be blue to draw your card, but it's still not fun enough to me. I want to have a bit more fun with that. I don't want to be forced to create a bunch of skills that are like, you know, red can do damage, green can whatever boost, probably not, blue can draw cards, etc. Because it kind of defeats the purpose of creating a skill that a creature can just fetch or participate or activate lots of different skills if all you have access to is the thing that's completely typically in your color pie. So a little bit of bleed would be welcome. How much bleed? That's the big question. I probably didn't say that, but the idea that I have now is draw a card. Let's make it pay a blue or a green. Pay a blue or a green, and in that way you can draw some cards in green that exists. You know, destroy an enchantment or an artifact, or destroy an artifact is going to be like pay maybe a white, green, or red. You know, maybe, yeah, maybe even slices like this would be even better. So fascinating. So we're gonna create a couple creatures. We're gonna create them pretty quickly, I think, because that's not what I want to spend some time on the skills. So let's say I'm copying this guy, and we're gonna do, what are we gonna do? When should we get to use the skill? I'm thinking maybe let's do a white that has something funny about it. So in white, I was thinking something that could be sweet would be maybe a 3/4 and maybe vigilance. I'm not sure. Yeah, let's just do it. Vigilance, and whenever blocks, now something I realize is a problem. Is if I just say trigger, maybe I need to say it triggers, because the thing that's, no, actually I guess maybe I could. So the thing that I'm wondering is who's the source. Let's say there is a deal damage, you know, who's the source? Is it me, or is it I guess it could be the skill itself. That way you cannot protect very easily. This is all very interesting. I'm sure they went through the rules of that when they created the schemes. I mean, I don't think a skill deals damage. Let's see. Damage. No. There's no conspiracy that directly deals damage. So let's say it triggers. And the idea will be that the skill basically becomes an ability that's triggered by the creature itself, as if the creature had this ability written on it all along. And hopefully that solves the source problem. Yeah. Sure. And then maybe I could have a reminder text that says I don't know how I would write that, so screw this. We'll figure it out. So we have a 3/4 that triggers a skill when it blocks, which is pretty sweet. And we're gonna create, I don't know, a mythic. Should we? Actually, I guess I could create a couple cards because it's so easy-ish. So let's say I'm gonna create, I don't know yet, like a flying 4/3 or something like that, and says whenever a creature dies. That looks like more like a rare, doesn't it? Yeah. So I want a mythic for this one, because I don't want this to be always a thing. What if flying? Oh shit. Whenever a creature dies, triggers a skill from your command zone. Boom. So that's pretty fun. And do we do a common? Common is kind of oh, I have some. Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not? Look at that. So I'm gonna do 2 in a blue. Whoa, 23 in a blue. Sweet. And it's gonna be a 2. Oh my god, what am I doing? 2/2. Or 2/3. I guess that's what happens these days. And it says 5U. Why not? 2, 3 for 3. Lots of mana, trigger skill. I don't really want to put this as less. 5 could be a thing. Yeah, 5 could be a thing, I guess. Right? Sounds good. Let's move on to actually making skills. Ooh, I forgot about something. I forgot to check that I have the template for this. Right, let's find out. I probably, well, I don't know. So textless, promotional, planeswalkers, devoid, clear, emblems. I can use a conspiracy. Here we go. I think conspiracy is a good template for this. So let's see if I can switch now. Yes, here we are. So let's see what we can do. We're gonna do a draw a card, right? That seems smart. Skill. We'll do that later. So skill, and it's gonna say. It's gonna say. I'm just. Sorry. Sorry, I'm looking up a word that I barely know how to spell in English. Oh yeah, right. French. Ingenuity is probably a card name already, isn't it? It isn't actually without a qualifier, and whatever, I'll burn this name. You know, usually magic designer and card makers, they don't want to burn very, very obvious names, so they probably didn't do that for that reason. But I'm not a designer. I mean, I am, but I don't have to preserve the name pool of Magic the Gathering because my cards are going nowhere. It's possible you would like to add a qualifier to this. By the way, Jace's Ingenuity exists, Masterwork of Ingenuity is kind of different, and Sisei's Ingenuity exists. Kind of surprised there's not more of those. So you may pay. So I kind of want to select slices like 3 colors. So I'm gonna say blue, black, and green are the colors that draw cards, I guess. That sounds for the most part correct. Boom. Here's the skill. So we want different things, right? We want like, do we just want to block, to restrict our skills to certain colors, or do we want to try and make skills that are not indeed restricted? It's tricky, huh? Plus, let's try and think. I made a creature that can trigger when it hits a player. I made a creature that can trigger when it blocks. I made a creature that triggers every time a creature dies. And I made a creature that can pay to trigger. So nothing crazy, nothing. So for example, if I said target creature gets a +1/+1 counter, it would be acceptable, right? If I said target deal 1, maybe 2 damage, 2 would probably be nuts. It could be acceptable. Maybe 1 damage is okay. So something like this, for example, you say actually, I don't know how to write this. You know, you can just say deal 1 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. That would be uncommon, I guess. You know, what's weird is it says that, but like maybe we need this. The source of this ability is the creature that triggered it. It's pretty good as a reminder, I guess. Right. So yeah, capital letter. So let's keep that as a reminder everywhere. So this might be okay. This probably is okay for any type of things. I think 2 damage would turn it could be fine with if we just restrict a little bit how our triggers work. But if we don't want to have to restrict too much our triggers, we can make a deal 1 damage skill. What could be now color pie leakage card could be draw a card and discard a card. So that's a leakage if I don't put a color. I kind of feel like leaking loot is acceptable, so I'm gonna leave it. Should it be I guess it should be uncommon, because it doesn't have the restriction. I don't want to do a million things, but let's see what we could do with a rare, or maybe even a mythic skill. So the problem here is it's somewhat similar to conspiracies. Conspiracies, all you have to do is open one if it's a mythic, and it's going to trigger right off the bat, and you're going to have it, and you just boosted your games by that much, which is nuts. But they also, maybe, I think they all have a downside, if I'm not mistaken. I have here, your deck can't have basic land cards, and your starting hand is 5, but you, oh my god, what the hell? Okay, that's crazy. But it's a downside. I'm sorry, I'm not reading the whole thing, it's complicated. You have first creature spell, you cast each turn, cost 1 less to cast. You cannot cast instant and sorceries. Super powerful. Bit of a downside, but not that crazy a downside. Actually, there's 2 mythic conspiracies only. Huh? The problem here is you're gonna have lots of things that trigger your skill, and it's just gonna add them abilities. I cannot even do target player discards a card, because now if I draft a bunch of this blocker dude, every time you block with it, your opponent's gonna discard a card. And like, where have you seen a repeatable discard that's as easy to trigger as I just need to block with my guy? That's too good, I do believe. Same for like destroy a creature. No way. Like, I cannot just have, you know, a skill that's that freaking good, I don't think. Well, see, a rare is a rare. No, still not. Because this one you don't have to draw it. That's one thing. Like, the skills are gonna be in your command zone no matter what. So all I have to do now is like draft, like if I open this and I get all my triggers, and now I destroy creature, destroy creature, destroy creature. That would be nuts. So what could it be? Can we even do something that's good enough to be what's a great ability that you can still somewhat reasonably tackle onto every type of creature and condition set? Perhaps the put a +1/+1 counter is a thing. Adding a +1 counter, +1/+1 counter on a creature is good enough to be a rare. Maybe it's hard. I think it would be pretty hard to solve that. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, or target creature gets -1/-1, or put a -1/-1 counter on a creature. That's actually probably, no, it's still too good. Yeah, this is a rare. Yeah. Because I forgot, this is not something you can get rid of. This is the thing that's crazy. You put let's say a common that has a trigger. Common have to have a hard trigger, as proven by when I created one. I said, okay, you just need to have your crappy 2-3, and then you need to pay 5 or 6 every time you want a trigger. But let's say you have a couple, yeah, maybe that's what limits it too. But still, like, you start the game and you have like an uncommon and a common that can get triggered. You kill those 2 creatures, you can still have a bunch of other creatures that trigger any skill, and you're still going to be able to trigger your rare skill. My point is, your skill is not going away. So a thing as simple as throwing +1 counters around will never be stopped unless you constantly remove all the skill trigger guys. So that's probably pretty good. -1 counters, -1 counters can be very annoying if they're repeatable, but if the -1 counter can be triggered by just every other card in your deck, by attacking, by blocking, by drawing other cards, by blah and so on, by paying mana, it's gonna be gross. You know, you're never gonna stop putting -1 counters out there. So I think +1 might be fine, especially since it's connected to actually you having the creatures that are causing the problem. So if the opponent gets rid of your creature, you might get rid at the same time as of the trigger and the +1 counters, potentially. And there's such things as chomp and removal and etc. Whereas if you do -1, you just get rid of their board and it's just a nightmare. So there you go. You have 5 skills with different kind of styles, I suppose. I almost want to do a destroy instant or artifact, or maybe a destroy enchantment, but I already have 5 of them right here, so you can make more of them up in your head. As it is, I'm gonna have a ton of cards to I'm gonna have a ton of cards to to illustrate and name and etc. and so on. So we're gonna call that Skillz, even though they are not, I mean, they're conspiracies, but I think that fits very well. I want to just open my thing like this, so that we have nice cards to finish on. Oh, by the way, all right, we're done. Wrap up. Goodbye. Bonus content. I made Pinehead. I think he's very fun. This guy says, comes into play, target opponent loses 3 life, and then you create a puzzle artifact and you give it to your opponent, and the artifact says you can sacrifice a creature to return all auras to their owner's hand, so you will return this Pinehead Paintcrafter to the owner's hands, which is your hand. Whenever a creature dies, opponents loses 1 life, and on top of that, when they lose life, you gain life. A little pushed, a little crazy, and if they send it back to your hand, it's gonna come back. It's gonna scare the hell out of you, literally. Well, it's gonna scare the hell into you, I suppose. So that's fun. That's my old bonus content. But to be back on our trigger dudes, fun stuff. It's probably needs a lot of work, a lot of thinking about it, a lot of making sure nothing goes out of hand. But I love the idea. And like I said, it might so happen that it is better suited to a casual format such as Conspiracy and so on. But let me know what you think. As per usual, in the new version of this show, I downsized and I'm not gonna make an article. I'm not gonna be making a bunch of imgur posts, etc. and so on. So what we'll do is I will provide you with the fully designed and named and illustrated version of those cards next week in our next episode, or whenever I do next episode, because that's the other thing. I'm not sure. I'm not really on a weekly basis anymore, but you can look forward to that. I will still keep on making episodes, and you will see all those beautiful cards next time. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you next time for episode 179. Do check out all our regular outlets. If you're watching on YouTube, check out the Twitch and the Twitter and the Facebooks. And look at that, even at the bottom I added a little link to the Reddit on which I post the cards as well. Under Benzai 13 there is a bracket with ominous designs. If you're really looking for them very hard, you'll see them every time they show up. But otherwise, check me out, hit me up, tell me what you think. I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Play responsibly.